Hey, in today's world, people are dealing with digital deluge, which is basically an information overload. And it's quite hard. And specifically, I'm focusing on people who, let's say, took the red pill and found out about the massive rabbit holes, about the world, the groups involved, everyone who has massive influence on humanity and your life specifically. And there's a danger in it because a lot of people who wake up and take the red pill start doing a lot of research. One is that they're trying to get an understanding. Hello, a mosquito. To understand the world, understand what's going on, and get a bigger picture. And it's quite difficult because for many, it becomes very depressing. One is because they find out so many hardships and cruelty of humanity and various groups that they lose hope. They find out what's going on, and it's like, well, what can I do about it? And most people think there's nothing. Most people look at who's involved and how little there are those who wake up. Very few people who are around them that they can talk to freely about anything, and they feel alone, and they feel vulnerable. They feel like, well, okay, I woke up. They feel like Neo from the Matrix, and yet they cannot bend the spoon. And yet they cannot control the reality the way they would like to, so life becomes very negative. Because now you're feeling isolated, you're feeling all alone, no one to talk to, no one understands you, and you have so many hardships around you because it's not just your family, being black sheep of the family most of the time for people like that. But at the same time, all those groups and things you research about, you start feeling hopeless and helpless. And in it all, it is very important to use your focus correctly. We need to learn to surf between what is going on and doing research, but then backing off and spending plenty of time on yourself, your physical world, your life, and just getting better. Of course, everyone's talking about like information and knowledge is power. Yes, but it's also very important how you use it. If you spend your time going into the rabbit holes and finding what's going on, learning about Tartaria, learning about Ashkenazi Jews, learning about various groups that have influence and all the things that happen and inside jobs and various conspiracy theories, you can talk about it. But eventually, what good does it do to you? To learn, to know the truth, to stand for it, to stand for what you believe in, it is very good. But when you're fighting battles that you cannot win, that hurts. For those that have been against the vaccine, for those that didn't take the COVID, for those that looked at a lot of different viruses that groups launches to cause various side effects on the world, so to speak, it becomes a big thing to expose it, and then others kind of become your enemy because, oh look, you're going against the masses, you're crazy, and so you get called crazy, you get isolated, no one to talk to, and that depression really hits hard for some people. And so to find yourself between learning information, understanding something, and doing something about it, yes, it's good if it's your thing, but you have to at times back off from being the fighter and look at the bigger picture. One is focusing on yourself and your life so that in it all you wouldn't be depressed. In it all you would have tools to work on yourself to feel better, to not just exist, to not just survive, but live. And finding joy in this life, no matter how hard it might seem to some, it is very important. And it's those little actions. Whether for some people it's hiking or going kayaking or just going for a jog or playing chess or playing video games or reading books and stuff, to find an activity that would be enjoyable and good to you, where you're not fighting a fight against the biggest group that usually, if it's you against Soros, I don't think you're winning, buddy. I'm sorry. But when there's masses, yes, people can do something. When masses start, well, one by one, people get together and they start making a difference, it's very important. One by one, people come together and expose pedophiles. It's very important. And it's commendable if you do that. But if you notice that you're doing a lot of research, and with this information overload, you're starting to feel depressed, alone, and stuff, it's time to back off, buddy. It is time to focus on yourself and things you can do to be happy. It is time to focus on your mental health and choose that time to look at what triggers you and what can you do about it. And it's not all spirituality. Yes, a lot of it matters. If you're wanting to get out of the matrix and stuff, a lot of it matters. But it's also your physical body. As long as you're here, this vessel is very important to you. And everything you learn, you're gonna take it with you to the afterlife. And it's not like you're gonna get smarter out of it right away. It's like everything you learn right now will be all the info you have, which is why it's important to study and take breaks, to do something to at least maintain that happiness, to at least maintain that wish that, hey, I woke up and I'm feeling okay, or I'm feeling good. You don't have to shoot for loving life every single day. For a lot of people, it's too hard. But getting there, slowly, little by little, is very important. And I'm talking about it because, like, everyone's studying, everyone's learning something. Jim Quick, I like his material because in the world where we're looking at Matrix and a lot of superheroes and stuff, he comes from the perspective where, for those that have watched the movie Limitless, yes, that pill, you can have it, and it's actually here, all within you, and you can activate it, and there's ways. So Jim Quick offers things you can do, just like everyone else, to better yourself. That being said, digital deluge and focus is very important. And part of me would like to give you things like, oh, well, do this and do that. But I think the main point is finding balance in everything. Information is constantly changing, and things we learn about the world and a lot of conspiracy theories until it becomes a truth and stuff. It's constantly changing, and while you might be fighting a certain fight and not looking at yourself, information changes and the way people focus on it changes. And it's never a constant line of, here is the truth. The truth is only what you believe in, to you. And that creates your reality. And I'm going all over the place. It's not like a super educational video where you're gonna get a lot of views out of it. But I think finding that balance between doing research to where you feel like your life is meaningful, like you have a reason here. Not that you have to change the world, not that you have to change the masses, but finding meaning for yourself. How to make your life better. What can you do if you want to contribute, if you want to do stuff? Make it about yourself. This is your story. You are the main character in your story. You are the superhero. You have all the powers as well. The only thing is limiting beliefs. That gets in the way. And so everything you have experienced from the moment you were born up until now, it builds up. Traumas, decisions, uncomfortable scenarios, and slowly it wears people down. And while you are a superhero, while you are freaking genius, while you are a god, a creator who can do absolutely everything and anything, what your parents have told you, what society told you, and everyone else's voices, if it gets to you, it makes it very hard for superhero, being you, to do something. And to find that strength to fight back. To find a strength where you have heard maybe your parents call you lazy or not good enough, or you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and you go into society and they tell who you are and everyone tells you something about you that's kind of limiting and negative. If you believe them, it's gonna be really hard on you, which is why you won't be able to bend the spoon as a Neo, or as a superhero you won't be able to use your superpowers to save the day. And saving the day in this metaphor is simply focusing on what you would like to achieve. You don't have to save people from car accidents or save the world and stuff, but it's everything you can do to make your life better, slowly, one step at a time. That's all that matters. And quieting the negativity, looking at your limiting beliefs and trying to deal with them. Every single negative thing you might have heard about yourself, you have to learn to let go and get rid of. Quieting all the negative voices you've had and heard from others, and only focusing on what is it that you would like to do, what can you do about it, and doing it. Learning to risk, learning to fail, learning to fall consciously, and at the same time having the strength to get back up. And it can be looked at in many ways. For me, it's like, hey, I'm making videos, and my English isn't perfect, my content isn't amazing, what I'm sharing is mediocre. I don't think it's too valuable, but from my perspective, whatever I can say that I think would be valuable to someone, maybe, yes, I'll try. And I know that in many cases, every single day, we have this challenge, and actually many little challenges, one way or the other. And learning to step out of that limiting character. And for me, it was like actually yesterday, because a lot of things in the background built up that kind of triggered what has been building up in my past relationships, where stagnation, you're putting in effort, you're trying to do stuff, but nothing's happening, and you're trying to communicate and you're trying to do stuff, but nothing's happening. And then is that fear of, oh my god, look, everything around me currently is happening like a few years ago, and if it's the same scenario that I'm in, it means it's my fault. If it's happening again, there's something I'm doing that's not right. And for me, it's like communication, holding it in a lot. Like I'm trying to be communicative. I'm trying to share stuff, but there are times where I'm looking for I'm trying to read the room, right? Trying to read the public, trying to see, is it the right time to share that stuff? The person's tired, so I probably shouldn't bring it up because I don't want to cause issue and stuff. It's like, goddamn, woman. Look, if you've had issues, I know it's super hard for you to talk about it, but if you don't bring it up, shit's just gonna get even worse. And to break it out of the character, I felt like I was changing, I felt like I was doing stuff, and boom, same stuff again. That was hard, that was difficult. But to find strength to stop it, and when you see the same old triggers, the same old patterns, the same stuff happening, and it scares the shit out of you because that story is repeating again. And that was like the thing for me being the superhero, me being the main character of my own story, and here it is again, same issue, and I get scared. And I know I can change stuff, I know I can change my life, I know the outcome I want, I know things are not even, while it looks the same, it's not, but the circumstances of similarities in actions and me being unable to talk about it or feeling like, well, my voice doesn't matter, and I had to break my character. And it comes through my body scared because I'm going against what I believe in. I'm going against, and I should put others first. I should consider how others are feeling. Are they too tired? Is it the right time to talk about it? Is it the right time to do stuff? And if I wait for that perfect scenario, it's never gonna happen. So I have to slow down. My body's shaking. I feel like this pressure in my throat because I know, like, okay, it's about being authentic. I'm not being myself. I'm unable to talk. I'm not doing what I think and I believe in. And it just builds up. And I know if I talk, I'm gonna cry because that's the way I am. And I start doing it. Hey, the thing is, and it opens up. And it's hard. And I get emotional because it is very, very personal for me. I mean, I don't get too vulnerable with people and tell everything that I feel. But I know, like, if I preach it to others, if I tell you that, like, hey, well, this is how you fix life, it is so easy to tell the truth about life and what people can do to make their life better. But when it comes to you, man, it's so freaking hard. And I just had to suck it up. Like, man, if I'm telling people what to do, I have to do it. And I know most of the time I'm trying, but when it comes to the most important part, the most important thing for me, and I feel this hold up and I feel this pressure and I feel like I'm unable to do stuff, I can't continue what I'm doing in life if I'm not gonna, like, walk the talk, right? Or walk the path. So I sucked it up. I sucked it up and I became vulnerable and trying to break that character where, okay, to hell with it. If I fail, if things happen, let it happen. But if I repeat and act as the same character who was limited, who was unable to talk, who was unable to be herself, I can't do anything in life. And that breaking the character and actually having the conversation. And I try to appreciate, like, not telling people things have to be my way, not telling people that I have to be right and stuff. I don't. But from my perspective, and this is how I feel about the situation, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're wrong or anything. I just want to share my perspective, and I was able to tell what I felt and what was happening, and everything changed. And it's like things that have been building up for a few weeks, and that the patterns I saw in my surroundings, and the situation that scared the hell out of me because I just did not want my past to repeat. And all I had to do was change one behavior: communicate. And so that was the thing for me. Being that superhero, using my superpower, was just look at your limiting beliefs, look at what triggers you, and what's one thing you've always been doing that's actually, would change if you didn't do it. And for me, that's communication. I'm being completely honest and open and vulnerable. And that's that thing. Being scared as hell, not wanting to go there, not wanting to experience that stuff, but nothing's gonna change if you don't do it. So that's my little story. I'm not going too much into the details, but I saw the changes and I was really proud of myself of doing that. And from that moment on, it's like, boom, everything changes. And that's where you bend the spoon. You see the reality after you break that character and you start doing what you wanted to do, as in communicate openly, freely, and everything changed. So, yeah, in this time of information overflow and overload, when there's just so much in life, finding balance where you learn about what's going on in the world, but you also give yourself time to focus on yourself. Focus on making your life not to exist, not to survive, but to live. To find something that you would like to do in life and do it and get it enjoyable. And for me, it's like being my authentic self. So, that's my story. Thanks for watching. Hopefully some of it was useful to you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.